guys, how's it going? We are live here. I am Radlyn Mendoza, and this is my husband and law partner, John Gardner, and we are attorneys at Gardner Mendoza here in Virginia Beach. And we're here, as we are every Wednesday night, to answer your immigration questions, your court questions. If you have any COVID-19 update related questions, we can help you answer those as well. But we're here for you, we're here for our community, and we're feeling great.
That's right.
I hope you guys are
out
too.
There tonight? It's kind of getting cold. It's December. The countdown to Christmas is in full swing. I mean, we're 9 days and counting now.
Is it 9 days only?
Yeah, things are getting pretty ramped up here at our household. I don't know about yours. We have our Christmas tree behind us, and we're happy to have that done. Get it
Yes,
decorated.
it's our GMO tree. It turned out to be super huge when we kind of unpacked it, and well, we didn't have to unpack it, but when we cut her loose, it was massive.
Massive, yes.
Well, we have a lot of ornaments, so it's not a problem to have a giant tree like that.
We had to cut off the top, cut off the bottom. There was a saw involved.
There's a lot of adjustments had to be made for the tree to fit into into the home. But there's a tree shortage out there, Christmas tree shortage. I don't know if you guys knew that, but we have ours, so anyway. We're A-okay. I'm gonna share this page, do a couple of housekeeping things here. Do you want to talk about what we're going to talk about today while I do this?
Absolutely. So tonight we are going to talk about state court updates, and I'm also going to bring you some drill down into some of the details of the new governor's executive order on COVID here in Virginia. We're going to talk about USCIS updates. We're going to talk more about the DPC, the driver privilege card, which is going to become available on January 1st. And of course, your questions. That's the most important thing of all. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, put them in the comments there, and we will certainly address them. That's what we like to do the most. And that's really the primary reason we do this every Wednesday night, is to try to answer the questions. If you all have a question about immigration, about state court, even about COVID, we will answer it if we can, and if we can't, we'll track it down. Okay? Track down the answer, that is. All right.
Awesome. We've got some friends here. Look, it's Nyla. How's it going? Nyla, great to see you. Happy holidays. My aunt's on here. Jean, great to see you. Baldwin is here again. If you have any follow-up questions from last week, great to see you. Thank you guys for joining us as always. Yeah. And we really are ramping up our notifications on our Facebook posts because there's a lot of stuff happening with immigration. There's a lot of stuff happening with court. So please like our page. Please share our page if you think this is going to be helpful to any of your friends or family. And I want to give a shout out to Sue. How's it going, Sue?
Yeah, my Aunt Sue. Hi, Sue.
Great to see you.
Glad you're joining us tonight. Merry Christmas.
And you know, before we get into the immigration stuff, I want to thank everyone for donating to my Girls on the Run campaign. We actually met our goal, and I'm super excited. And Sue donated, and thank you so much, Sue. We really appreciate that. But I know I was getting a little, I'm not going to say aggressive. I was getting assertive and personally texting people so I could hit that personal goal of raising $1,000, and Adidas is going to match. So
yeah, Adidas is going to match. I mean, that was the whole thing.
That was the whole thing. I mean,
we could double it.
It's free money. It was free money. So we really, really appreciate your support. And Girls on the Run means tons and tons to us. And all three of our girls have gone through it. For some reason, they let me on the board. I'm on the board for Girls on the Run. They also
she coached a team.
They also let me coach. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So we are very, very embedded with Girls on the Run in a great and amazing way. It's a wonderful organization. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, this is not to get too sidetracked, but if you're not familiar with it, check it out. It really, really is a cool organization.
Yes, and it's on my personal page, so you can check. And it's not, you can donate. We always are accepting donations. It's tough out there for nonprofits, so we really appreciate your support. So that is a sidebar.
Yeah. And before we go too much further, I should always mention, as I do every week, that what you hear here is is not legal advice. What you hear here is for informational and educational purposes only. but it is not legal advice. That's our disclaimer. Our lawyer made us say that. Makes us say that.
Our lawyer.
That's
yes, we have a lawyer.
I wish I never
We have
disclosed
lawyers
who
too.
it is. That's right. Okay, so
What are we talking about tonight? Or am I going to talk about what we're talking about tonight? So just so you guys know, I'm going to be monitoring the questions on my laptop here. So if you have questions, I will make sure to catch them. Callum, what's going on? Happy holidays to you. Congratulations. Callum just celebrated his 9th year at his law firm. Do you remember when Callum first started his law firm?
I do. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yes, congratulations.
Yep.
But he's
Great
awesome.
lawyer, great guy. If you guys need, especially business
All
help,
kinds of stuff.
family law, there's all kinds of stuff there.
There's all kinds of stuff going on there.
Great law firm, great guy. So good to see you, Kellen.
Yeah. Now, if they do a lot of stuff, and once they start doing immigration, then we're going to cut them off.
That's it. Friendship's over.
Yeah, friendship's over.
Friendship will be over there. Right?
Just kidding. Just kidding. I made a joke on Kellum's post, but did he do the video yet? He has done video. He has.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop messing with Kellum.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get started, did you want to?
Wait.
You want to?
Did we? Wait a
announce
minute.
this
So
part?
did we talk about the things we're going to talk about, or did we
Yeah.
just say hi to Kellum? We already did. Okay.
Yep, we already did.
We do almost everything, but not immigration. Y'all are my homies for that.
Nice.
All right. Yes. Let's do fist bump as if Kellum were here. If we were.
That's right.
Yes. That's awesome. Thank you, Kellum. We appreciate that.
Yeah, especially coming from such a tech whiz.
Yes. Kellum taught John how to use not paper.
Okay.
All right. We're getting our attention diverted. So
We want to start something a little bit new tonight before we get to the regular
just
stuff.
really quickly, for the past week or so, I was thinking, it would be kind of cool if John and I started our Facebook Live with a positive immigration related story that was inspiring. And I was kind of thinking that we would talk about some of our clients if they allowed us to, because our clients are amazing. They're
Absolutely.
they're just great people, and so many things, positive things to talk about there.
And do some so amazing things.
Yeah, so many
Super amazing
right.
things.
But I was thinking about this and didn't really talk to any of our clients about doing this. So of course we couldn't talk about it. And then this news article was trending about the first Korean American to go into space. And it is about, I'm taking a look at the article here. It is about a gentleman named Johnny Kim, and his parents were Korean immigrants, or his parents are Korean immigrants, and he grew up with his parents in LA, in his parents' liquor store. Sounds kind of familiar. And this guy's amazing. He kind of, from this article, he just kind of not really fitting in high school. He had a hard time making friends. He didn't really know what he wanted to do. He's only 35 years old, but age 16, he found out about the Navy SEALs, and he's like, I'm going to become a SEAL. And for 2 years, he really just worked really hard, and applied to and was accepted into the Navy SEALs, a feat in and of itself. And very, very few Asian Americans have gone into the SEALs. And, in the article, he says that he knew all the Asian SEALs. They all knew each other. I can totally relate to that as well. But the interesting thing and funny thing about this, and again, I think a lot of people who have families like this, his mom was devastated, and his dad, because they wanted him to be a physician or a lawyer or something else, and definitely not a Navy SEAL. And he just walked his own path, which I really admire him, especially coming from an Asian household, family household, and where parental pressure can be pretty tough. But he didn't apply to any colleges, and he went straight into the Navy SEALs. He said his mom cried and was really hoping she would change her mind. But then he went on to, I believe, to get a math degree, and then he became a doctor. He became a doctor at Harvard. And then recently he was accepted into, it's called NASA's Artemis program. and making himself eligible for blasting off into space in the future. So great story, very inspirational.
Really, really impressive. He's the guy's 35 years old. He was a Navy SEAL. And, the part of the doctor story was that when he was serving as a Navy SEAL, he saw several of his fellow SEALs get, just horribly injured and killed. And when he came out of the Navy SEALs after serving in combat, he decided he wanted to become a doctor because he wanted to help people that were injured. And so he did. He went to, I think it's the University of San Diego undergrad.
Yes.
He then went to Harvard Medical School, and he was like in the second year of his residency and decided to leave and go to NASA. And then he's now has been selected to be one of the guys that's going to shoot up, one of the men and women to go up into space. So really, really cool in this new program.
Congratulations to him. And I will post this story into our comments because it's quite noteworthy and very, very exciting.
Yep.
All right.
Johnny Kim, great first name, great last name, especially the first name. Okay, so anyway, did I mention that I'm John Gardner and this is my partner, Adlam.
Yes. Here is the story in the comments if you guys want to check it out.
Okay, let's get to so that's what we're going to do every week. Try to find an inspirational story like that. If you have, we're going to talk to some of our clients because we can do this in house. Trust me.
We can do it every single day of the week.
But if you know somebody that's inspired you, or you've read about who's inspiring, let us know because we'd love to talk about them. Okay, because we want to highlight these folks, and it doesn't have to be somebody who's a recent immigrant. Maybe their parents were immigrants. Maybe they were immigrants years ago. Whatever the case may be. Okay, but that's the theme, and we'll do it every week, hopefully. All right. So let's get on to the main show. All right, the main show we're starting with the state court updates. Everything there is as per usual. Courts are open. There's social distancing going on there. A reminder, you do need a mask to get into the courthouse, to any courthouse. They're asking questions about COVID and your exposure, and if you've traveled. They are taking temperatures to make sure not running a fever. And remember, you have to leave your cell phone in your car unless you're an attorney. Okay, but attorneys know that. Okay, so I just like to remind everyone about that because every day I go to court pretty much, and every day I see somebody going from the courthouse back to their car with a phone or going back to their car to get a mask. Okay, so
not our community. They're not going to do that.
You need a mask
because they're coming every Wednesday night, and they know.
That's right. So take a mask, leave the phone. That's the combo you're looking for there.
Right, and just to piggyback off of that with USCIS, mask of course, but you can bring your phone into USCIS.
Right. So the no phone policy is only in the state courts. All right.
Right. And I know it goes without saying, but if you're not feeling well, if you have symptoms of COVID-19, even if you don't think that you have COVID-19 or you haven't been tested, but you have symptoms, please don't go to court or don't go to your immigration interview. It's they will allow you to continue it. That's correct, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If you've got
No
the symptoms
question.
for court. And for sure, they are very appreciative at the local immigration office. If you have these symptoms, or even if you've tested positive, of course, don't go to your interview, don't go to your swearing in, even though you're dying to do both of those things, just to keep everyone safe as possible.
All right. Okay, and on that same theme, let me talk a little bit about. We've been getting questions about this, so I decided to talk about it a little bit tonight. I'm not going to read every detail, but I want to just hit some of the highlights. Some of you probably are familiar with or aware of the fact that there is a new government executive order from Governor Northam. It's executive order number 72, and this went into effect on Monday, December 14th at midnight, and it is going to stay in full force and effect until January 31st, 2021. And you hear a lot of people talking about this stuff. I wanted to just read from the actual, this is the order right here, okay? I read this entire executive order, and so there's some misinformation that I hear swirling around out there. So I just want to make sure that everyone's clear. I'm not going to read every detail, of course, but
I'm going to listen because I did not read the executive order.
yeah, let me hit some of the main things. There is a stay-at-home order. People call that a curfew, okay? And it is true that you have to stay in your place of residence between the hours of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. So, I mean, you know, that's pretty easy to do, right? Unless you're working or you need something.
Right,
But here's the thing. There's an exception to this, all right? You can leave your residence for certain purposes, and they're pretty broad. I'm not going to read them all, but you can leave between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. to obtain food, beverages, goods, or services. To seek medical attention, to take care of other individuals or animals, when traveling, when engaging in exercise, traveling to and from your residence or a place of worship or work, traveling to and from an educational institution, volunteering with organizations that provide charitable or social services, or leaving your residence due to a reasonable fear for your own health or safety. Okay? So
anything. You can leave your house for anything.
from a lawyer's standpoint, you know, I'm going to just say that's not much of a curfew, okay? You wouldn't normally be leaving during those hours anyway, unless you needed to do one of those things, okay?
Right, like go to work or
That's
go
right.
work out. Mike is on here. How's it going, Mike? Mike probably gets up at 4:30 in the morning to go
That's
work
right.
out.
That's
Yeah.
for you, Mike. Mike gets up at 2 a.m. so that he can finish his workout by 6 a.m.
Exactly. So for him, it makes sense. It's a good exception carved out.
That's right. That's right.
So we had some curfew cases, didn't we? When we had that very short period of
Well,
curfew.
when Virginia Beach had the last curfew, yeah, I had a handful of clients who had been picked up in violation of the curfew. They were charged, given court dates, but then the city didn't go through with the prosecution of any of them. All of them, just the charges were all dropped.
That's not to say that would happen this go round.
No, and
Can't
just
count on any of that.
from a criminal defense standpoint, I'm never going to recommend that you do something illegal believing that, well, it's probably going to get dropped later. Not a good strategy. Okay?
Yes, just follow the curfew rule, guys. 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. You know, for a 48-year-old, nothing great happens after 9:30 p.m. anyway.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, so let's talk about also this order includes some information about face coverings. They are required. It says that all individuals in the Commonwealth age 5 and older must cover their mouth and nose with a face covering if they are in an indoor setting shared by others. This does not apply to persons inside their personal residence. I've heard a lot of people talking about, oh, you have to wear a mask inside your own home now. That is not the case. I don't know where that rumor started, but that is not the case. The restriction does not apply to persons inside their personal residence, and individuals may remove face coverings to participate in a religious ritual. So, same thing. If you're at church and you need to take your mask off to do something like take communion, that's completely allowed here. All employees of businesses shall wear a face covering while working at their place of employment, and it specifically names businesses that are listed in Section 2, subsection C, which were considered essential retail businesses, and I can get back to that in a minute. All right. The enforcement here is that any willful violation or refusal, failure, or neglect to comply with this order is punishable as a Class 1 misdemeanor. So if they do go through with the prosecution of it, it's pretty intense. I mean, a Class 1 misdemeanor in Virginia is the highest misdemeanor you can have. If you go any higher than that, you go into the felonies. All right, it's punishable by a maximum of 12 months in jail, a $2,500 fine, or both. Okay, wow. So Class 1 misdemeanor is no joke. But as with the curfew, there are some exceptions to the face covering. The requirement to wear a face covering does not apply to the following. While eating or drinking, I think we all know that, individuals exercising or using exercise equipment, Any person, this one is my favorite one, by the way. This is a 19-page order, and this is my favorite paragraph in the entire order. Okay? I don't know what's coming, guys.
I don't know what's coming.
I don't know why I think it's so funny, but you also, any person who's playing a musical instrument when wearing a mask or face covering does not have to do it where the face covering would inhibit the playing of the instrument. Example, a wind instrument, such as a flute. Okay, so long as at least 10 feet of physical distancing can be maintained from other people, whether the rehearsal or performance is indoor or outdoors, okay? So for all of you musicians out there, don't worry. You don't have to worry about wearing the face covering. Oh, my Aunt Jill is on. Hi, Jill.
Hi,
Thanks
Jill.
for the tree. Looks good. Thanks, Jill. Merry Christmas to you as well. Speaking of wind instruments, you know, I have Papa's old recorder. And I also have his grade from Akron U. He took a recorder class at Akron U. He got an A, of course. No surprise there, right? Any person who has trouble breathing or is unconscious, incapacitated, or otherwise unable to remove the face covering without assistance is also not required to have one. So if you're having trouble breathing, obviously you can take your mask off. If you're trying to speak with somebody who is hearing impaired and they need to be able to read your lips, you can take the face covering off for that. Whenever removing it is necessary to secure a government or a medical service, you can take it off for that. And people that have health conditions or disabilities that prohibit them from wearing the face covering are not required to have the face covering. And of course, the out for those of you who are just really unhappy about this face covering, and I'm not taking a position on this, I'm just reading the executive order. Any person who declines to wear a face covering because of a medical condition shall not be required to produce or carry any medical documentation verifying the stated condition, nor shall the person be required to identify the precise underlying medical condition. So if you're not wearing a mask and you say it's because of a medical condition, nobody can ask you what the medical condition is, and they can't make you produce any documents to support it. So
That's really interesting.
It's a pretty broad out there, yeah. So that's the situation with the face coverings. And then I wanted to just briefly talk about the number of people that can get together, okay?
Oh, that's important.
All public and private in-person gatherings of more than 10 individuals, that's a pretty small number, who do not live in the same residence are prohibited, okay? So all public and private in-person gatherings of more than 10 individuals, okay, are prohibited. And a gathering includes, but is not limited to, parties, celebrations, or other social events, whether they occur indoors or outdoors. The presence of more than 10 individuals performing functions of their employment or assembled in an educational instructional setting is not a gathering, okay? So just a gathering of more than 10 for a party, that's prohibited. 10 getting together to do work or for educational purposes, that is not considered a gathering. Also, this restriction does not apply to the gathering of family members, as defined in Section 2, subsection D, paragraph 2, living in the same residence.
Living in the same residence, okay.
Now, if you go to Section 2, subsection D, subsection 2, family members are defined as blood relations, adopted step and foster relations, as well as all individuals residing in the same household or visiting such household pursuant to a child custody arrangement or order, all right? So from a lawyer's standpoint, again, the first line of that is going to be the key. Family members include blood relations. So again, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, well, we're going to have to cancel our Christmas party, or we couldn't go to our Hanukkah get-together because you can only have 10 people. That's not true if it's all your family. So if you...
Even if you're not living under the same household?
Family members include blood relations, okay? So if you have relatives and you're all family members and you guys want to get together in a private residence, you're good to go, okay?
Huh. Okay.
All right, and I won't read all the essential businesses because there are so many of them. But if you want to look this up, it's Executive Order number 72. Okay.
Executive Order number 72. We haven't gotten very far with the executive orders, have we? 72 only.
Okay.
Have there only been 72?
That's right.
And all right. Anyway,
Yeah.
the whole history of the executive orders. All right, cool. Well, thank you for that. That was quite extensive, quite helpful.
Yeah, sorry, I know that's kind of boring, but yeah. So check it
It's
out.
important though.
Executive
We need to know
order.
these things.
That's right. So if you're family members and you want to get together and your blood relations and you live together in the same residence, you are good to go. All right?
Shout out to Laura and Chalebi, who I just saw pop up on the screen. Hi guys.
Yeah, I feel like there was one other part of this that I wanted to mention.
A lot is highlighted there. Okay, so while you're looking at that, let me just take a look here really quick. Oh, really quick announcement, guys. Sarah, John, and I are going to be doing a DACA webinar, DACA informational webinar tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
That's right.
Registration is required, and I don't know if we're going to be broadcasting that live tomorrow. I don't think that we are. I think it's just going to be for the registrants. So please, if you know anyone who is wanting to or should be applying for DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as the Dreamers, DACA is open again, and there's a lot of information surrounding it. There are a lot of requirements, a lot of documentation requirements. And so we're going to be covering all of that tomorrow night in a webinar through Zoom, and I will put the link here in the comments. Okay, and it's also on our page. But we would love if a lot of people showed up for that, because it's super important. A lot of DACA people do self-filing, and if you do self-filing, we want you to do it right. And so this is what this webinar is going to be for. All right, so that's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Did you find it?
Oh, no, I just wanted to be clear when I understand what you're asking me about living in the same residence. Yeah.
Yes.
So it doesn't apply to the family. So I guess what I was driving at was that if you have 10 that live together, so we have a family of 5. Our family members don't count, okay? So I read this to mean that you could have our family, because we're excluded, and then we could have 10 more. 10 can gather, plus the family members that live in the same residence, okay?
Huh. Interesting.
So you could have, if you have a family of 7, you could have 17. That would be the position that I would take, all right? Some may dispute that.
I should read that, and I will give you my opinion on it next week.
That's right. That's right. I'm trying to take an expansive reading of this because I want people to be able to get together for the holidays.
Did we miss a question? Okay, here. My question is, since I've renewed my DACA for 1 year, do I have to wait until next year to renew? For 2 years. So Raul is asking a great question. I believe, Raul, it sounds like maybe you fell into the time period where DACA EADs were only being given out for 1 year. What's going to happen, from my understanding, and John and I did a webinar today on this for attorneys only. My understanding is that USCIS is going to send you an official looking letter stating that and I believe the deadline to send that is going to be sometime in January, maybe January 8th, 2021. And they will send you that letter that it's extended for an additional year. And then 30 days prior to your EAD expiring, they will be sending you a new EAD with no cost to you. So Raul, reach out to me and just send me a message through Messenger. But that is what we learned today in our webinar for attorneys only. But great, fantastic question. Because there are a lot of people sort of in the, with all the lawsuits, in between all these lawsuits, that only got a 1 year validity date for their DACA. And so that has changed. That's going to change. And part of this lawsuit was that you will be getting that additional year at no additional cost. All right. So great, fantastic question. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yuli's here. How's it going, Yuli? Great to see you. Hope you and the family are doing well. And a lot of people popping on today.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
I
I
love
love it.
seeing everyone, and thank you guys for joining and supporting our Facebook Live. We have a good time doing it most nights, right? It's always fun.
Totally.
It's gotten
That's
a
right,
lot
totally.
better. Trust me, when we first started doing it, it was hard. But now that we've been doing it almost for, we've been doing it since February 2020. The more you do something, the more fun it gets.
That's right.
It's not new anymore. Merry Christmas to you too, Yuli.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so did you want to hit some USCIS updates, or would you prefer that I, dive into the driver privilege card?
I just have a couple of quick updates for our USCIS immigration folks out there. So for all you self-filers out there, and again, this Facebook Live is for people who want more information and maybe are doing it on their own. We just received notification from USCIS today, and they asked us to share this, that they're experiencing tons and tons of delays at the lockbox in issuing receipts. And I know just on chats and everything, and even on lawyer Facebook pages and immigration lawyer Facebook pages, people are kind of freaking out about the fact that they have not yet gotten their receipt notices. Say you filed the I-751 and you have not gotten your receipt notice yet, and it's been a while, and maybe your driver's license is about to expire. The message is, keep calm. Please try to keep calm about that, because they're experiencing a huge backlog in processing these. So it's due to COVID-19. It's due to a significant increase in filings, which is awesome. Let's give a clap for that you guys are filing and people out there are filing a lot. That's fantastic, because that's what we want to see. And there are going to be delays, so just try to be patient. Everything's going to be okay with your case, even if you haven't gotten the receipt notice for that. We just started receiving our first receipts for EB3 filings for employment-based third preference category filings this week, so that was good. Let's see, do we have a question up there?
We do not.
Okay. All right. And then we've got another announcement here that federal agencies are going to be closed. That includes USCIS on December 24th. So there was an executive order issued on 12/11/20. It's the one that I like. The federal offices are closed on 12/24. So Christmas Eve, y'all get the federal workers, USCIS, get the Christmas off. All right. Those are my updates.
And again, reminder for those of you who came in late, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We're going to be doing a DACA update because DACA is back on, and so they are going to be accepting new applications, and that has not been the case for a while, so that's wonderful. All right. So, okay. Let me move on to driver privilege card. If you have immigration questions, continue to put them in the chat, and Radlin will
I shall monitor.
She'll be monitoring that, and then we can answer them. We can even interrupt what I'm doing to answer them. But I want to plug again, because January 1st is right around the corner. You've been hearing me talk about this, those of you who tune in for a while now. But on January 1st, 2021, Virginia's new driver privilege card law officially goes into effect. And we're getting more and more official now. DMV has even put it up on their website, and I jotted this down earlier.
Is the website, did you jot that down?
Well,
because I can put it in the comments.
Yeah, Radlin's going to put it in the comments, the actual link. But if you're just going to DMV, Virginia.gov, if you go to the driver ID services, and then you go to applying for a driver's license, and then you go to driver's license, you'll see an actual link there. It says driver privilege card. Okay,
which is awesome and exciting.
Yeah, it's there. For a while, we've been kind of waiting for them to actually give some formal guidance, and we knew what was coming. But it's nice to know that it's actually there. So if you're looking around the DMV website, you're going to be able to find it. All right. But again, what this is a driver privilege card, a DPC. You can get a driver privilege card to drive in Virginia legally, regardless of your immigration status. Okay, there are things you're going to have to do, but show lawful presence in the United States and Virginia. That's not going to be one of them, like a regular driver's license. Okay, So the DPC is going to look just like a regular driver's license. It will look the same, but under restrictions, it's going to have a code letter there that will basically just show law. The only people that would know what that is are law enforcement, quite frankly, or somebody at DMV. But if you say wear corrective lenses when you drive at night, if you look, your license probably has restrictions. It has a little letter. You flip it over, and it says what the restriction is. It's corrective lenses. All right, this will have something similar, except that it'll be, the restriction will be that it's this card and not a actual driver's license. And you will have to renew it every 2 years. The DMV, at least for now, is promising robust privacy protection for the information and the documents that are going to be used, like passports, matricular ID cards, that kind of thing. You know, I'll talk to you in a little bit about that particular issue, okay? They're not going to retain the documents. However, they will retain your identifying information and your address. And that's why I'm not going to recommend this for every single person, but probably for a lot of people, okay? So here are the requirements. And you're going to need an ITIN, and you're also going to need not an interview, excuse me, an appointment, thank you, with DMV, okay? So right now, DMV appointments, you got to make them online. They're by appointment only because of COVID. So they're like 2 to 3 months out. So if this is something you think you might want to do, I would suggest that you go ahead and get that appointment now, because it may be, you know, out in March sometime, okay? Same thing with the ITIN. If you're going to need help with the ITIN, getting one, that's going to be taking, 8 to 11 weeks. So if you don't have an ITIN and you're going to do this, that's another thing. You want to get started on this as soon as possible.
Right, individual tax identification number.
Yeah, the individual tax identification number, all right? One thing about the DMV I'll mention is that it doesn't matter where you go. So if you go to your DMV in Chesapeake and the earliest appointment is in May, don't get discouraged. Look around. You may find that you can go up to Arlington next week, okay? And if you have everything you need, I doubt you will, because there's a lot to put together here, okay? But I would still try to make the appointment now, so that if it's like in March or April, at least you've got it on the books, scheduled, and then you can set about getting all the stuff together that you're going to need, okay? So what are you going to need? You're going to need an individual tax ID number, all right, the ITIN. You're going to need tax returns for 2019, because you're going to have to show that you earned wages, received income in Virginia in the 12 months prior to when you're applying, and that you reported them on a tax return, okay? So you're going to need tax returns. You're also going to need a government-issued picture ID, like a matricular ID card or a passport, all right? You're going to need proof that you're a Virginia resident. 2 forms with an address, like utility bills, okay, that show that your address is in Virginia. You're going to need a $50 filing fee, and you're going to have to be able to pass the written test, and you're also going to have to be able to pass the road test. And you can take the written test in Spanish, and you can either take it in writing, handwritten, or you can take it on a computer. You're going to need to have proof of insurance, which at least a lot of the clients that I deal with have vehicles registered, so they have registration and they have insurance. It's the driver's license that they're missing, okay? So most people have insurance on the vehicles they own.
Right, a lot of people don't know that you can register vehicle, get insurance for it, even if you don't have a driver's license.
That's right, that's right. All right, so you can see there's a lot of documents that have to be rounded up here and taken care of. And you may have to get the ITIN, and you may have to file taxes. Now, if you haven't filed taxes, but you have earned income in Virginia, don't be too discouraged and think that you don't qualify for this, because you can still do it. You can still get an ITIN, and we can still file the taxes, okay? If you worked in 2019 and received wages but didn't file the taxes, we can file them now. They'll be maybe tax due depending on how much you made. There'll be penalties and interest if there was tax due. There'll be penalties either way, but there'll be interest on the amount.
Or they may not be.
Or there may not be, but there almost certainly will be penalties, okay? But the bottom line is you can still do it. You can file them from back years, okay? And you can get an I-10 even if you've worked and didn't have a tax ID number. We can get that for you now, and then you can file we can file the taxes for you from the years prior, and then you can pay whatever you owe, if anything, and then you're good to go, assuming you can get all the other documents together, okay? And I want to be clear about one thing here. You do not have to have a lawyer to do this. You can file this on your own. You can try to do this on your own. We put the website link up there. You're welcome to go to it and look through it. And if you think it's something you can do on your own, then have at it, and I hope it works out for you. But if it's something you would like help with, please contact us and we can help you with it, okay? So who should apply? That's the next question. Not everyone, all right? There are 3 categories that I want to talk about. One group is those who are already sort of on a schedule with ICE. And these are folks that are on ICE's radar. Maybe you're on an immigration bond. You have an immigration hearing date coming up in 2023 or 4 or whatever. Okay, so ICE already knows who you are. They already know you're here. They know where you live, okay? If you fall into that category, you really should go ahead and do this because you have nothing to worry about here. When I was talking about the promise of robust privacy, you don't have to worry about this triggering a problem with ICE because they already know who you are and where you live, all right? However, if you think you may be on ICE's radar, you think maybe ICE is looking for you, maybe you've had some interaction with them, but it never came through. Maybe you didn't show up for a hearing. Maybe there was a hold and then you moved and never found out anything else about it, whatever the case may be. If you're in that category, then you may want to think twice about doing this. You may really want to talk to us about what exactly did happen with ICE and what's the likelihood that they're actually actively looking for you, because this will be a DMV database, and I think it's likely that ICE will end up combing and looking through, crawling all of these databases. And if they're looking for you, if they're actively looking for you, and they see that you applied for the DPC, they're now going to know exactly where you live, and they're going to know where to find you. Okay, so if you're in that category, you may not want to do this, all right? At the very least, you ought to call us to talk about it, all right? The last category are folks that know that their immigration status is not what's needed to get a regular driver's license. Maybe you're out of status, okay? However, you also know that you're not on immigration's radar. You know for a fact that nobody from immigration is looking for you, okay? You've been here maybe for a little while, maybe for a long time, but you've never had any problems with law enforcement. You've never been arrested. You've just never had any problems at all, okay? And maybe you're worried that, okay, look, everything's gone pretty well so far. Why risk this? Why do this if it's then going to potentially put me in the crosshairs of immigration? And to those folks, I would say it's a balancing test. If you absolutely don't drive at all, you don't need to drive, then maybe you just skip this. That's up to you, all right? But if you do drive, maybe you drive every day for work, maybe you take your kids to school every day and you pick them up every day, so you're driving a lot, okay? For that group, I think that the risk of immigration getting involved in the driver privilege card is pretty low compared to the risk of getting pulled over for, say, a broken tail light or a brake light or something, okay? And now you've got law enforcement on you and you don't have a driver's license, and now you're facing a no operator's license charge, which is a class 2 misdemeanor. It's a jailable offense in Virginia, and you're going to have to go to court for that, which is certainly going to put you in a database. For those folks, I think you should do it, because I think that you're better off to have the driver privilege card than to be driving around without a driver's license and have the risk of getting pulled over for something.
Right, and as a plug to John, that's what John does. I mean, he represents our clients when they get pulled over and they don't have a driver's license, and he represents them in court. So if that does happen to you, absolutely give John a call, because
if you
I
do,
can't say
right.
he's the best, but if you take a look at our Facebook page every Friday, we do a 2 thumbs up post. John is amazing. I can't say he's the best, but he does have some, I'm not going to say tricks up your sleeve. I will just say strategies that perhaps some don't know about.
We know that area of law backward and forward. That is true.
John knows the area of law backward and forward. He's being modest.
And I also know from 20 plus years of representing people that don't have a driver's license and get pulled over that there are so many tiny things. I mean, it's speeding tickets and brake lights out and third lights out in the back and, something hanging from the rear view mirror. There's so many little things that can trigger a police officer pulling you over in the first place. And then if you don't have a driver's license, it just goes south from there. Okay. So really think about doing this. Okay. And last point I want to make on this, if you do decide to do it on your own, which is totally fine, and you go and it gets denied, okay, please ask DMV to put it in writing what went wrong with it. So if you call us then and say, hey, I tried to do this on my own, it didn't work, I will know exactly what went wrong, so I'll know exactly what we need to fix in order to make it go smoothly. Okay?
Right.
So, and if you want to have us just do it for you, then we can absolutely do that. Give us a call. Okay?
Absolutely. And that, sometimes people ask me, if I hire you as my immigration lawyer, is it going to go faster, and how? So, and I always say, look, I wish that just because, I sign my name and I write Esquire or attorney, that I'm going to get it put in a different line as the rest of the applicants here, but that's not the case. Attorneys file with everyone else, and as you all may know, you do not have to have an attorney for an immigration file. You don't have to have an attorney to help you with the DMV driver privilege card. But the benefit of having an attorney is just, we take the problem off of your shoulders. I mean, John can build us a brand new deck. He has the skills. He can do it. However, it's going to take probably 3 times as long. We're probably going to get into a whole bunch of fights, right? About why it's taking so long and the danger of the deck being not done. And it'll just be so much easier, faster, better if a professional actually handled that.
I'm concerned about how long you think it would take.
That deck removal and replacement.
That's
so
right.
the point is that,
not to even mention all the trips to Home Depot or Lowe's to buy tools.
Right. And I always give my example of, because I'm a self-doer kind of person. Like I like to try things on my own until I find out why I really shouldn't have done that. And the number one example I give is our law firm website. Remember, I built the law firm website. I'm like, look, it's up. But it wasn't getting us. It wasn't getting any type of people to come to it. It just wasn't optimized. And I'm sure that we wasted thousands upon thousands of dollars on really lost business as far as that website is concerned. I mean, it did okay, but a professional would have had it running a lot smoother than I did. So
yeah, I mean, this is a personal choice. I can tell you for sure that if you have us do it for you, it's going to go a lot more smoothly. We'll do the scheduling. We're going to get the taxes done. We're going to get the ITIN. We're going to do all that stuff. We're going to tell you what documents. We're going to tell you whether they meet the requirements that are needed. That's just all a fact.
Right.
But that said, you do not have to have a lawyer. And I do not want to give that impression. If you want to do this yourself, you can absolutely do it yourself. You can visit the DMV website that we posted earlier and go from there. Okay?
Right.
It's a personal choice.
Absolutely. Whatever you all choose to do, hopefully it's the best decision for you and your family. Our goal with helping with the driver privilege card, and again, our goal is just to help as many people as possible get this benefit. John and I both know what a hardship it is on our clients. Again, John has probably represented thousands of people who have gotten a ticket for not having a driver's license here in Virginia. And we know what the hardship is. We know, driving to work, you're the breadwinner, and how are you supposed to get to work? And, when there are a lot of ICE, basically local law enforcement turning people in over to ICE, you know, we would tell our clients, like, do not drive. Get an Uber everywhere you go. And I would say, look, your case for a removal case, deportation case, is going to be $20,000. Do you think you could use $20,000 of Uber credits or less than that? I mean, they would look at me like I was crazy. And think, I'm going to drive. I have to drive. I have to support my family. I have to take my kids to school.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way that I cannot drive. I mean, so it would be like if anyone asked us to not drive.
Oh,
I mean, it would just...
I mean, I've had just horror stories. They're all, I mean, I've had people that were on their way to pick up kids at the bus stop and then they got arrested and the car was impounded and never got to the bus stop and the kids were just, you know.
At the bus stop.
I mean, I had a guy who went to move the car from the street into the parking garage. They were here on a trip and his wife and family were in the hotel room. And while he was moving the car, he got pulled over, didn't have a license, got arrested, pounded the vehicle. And his poor family, they didn't even know what happened to him. They were just, he went to go move the car and never came back.
Right.
And they were panicked and totally freaking out.
So we know, John knows, he goes to court with our clients every single day. So we know how important it is for our clients to have this and for people to have, not just our clients. And that's why we've been talking about it probably for the past 3 months. And like, gosh, is John really talking about the driver privilege card again? Yes, we are talking about the driver privilege card again. It's going to go into effect on January 1st of 2021. We want you guys to be prepared, whether you hire us to do it or not, or I'm sure they're going to be workshops out there to help people do that. And we will be a part of that as well. So please, if you need help with it, reach out to us and we will do our best to help you. And
I just, the I-10 and the tax returns are going to be the hang up. I can just from talking to my own clients already, and I want to make sure that people don't have the impression that, oh, well, I didn't file taxes, so I'm out of luck. That's not true. All right, it can all be fixed retroactively. All right.
All right, fantastic. Well, that's awesome. We're at 6:53 p.m. here.
Oh goodness! All right.
Yes, you've taken up so much time with the driver privilege card. No, this is amazing. This is very, very important information. And if you guys know someone who would benefit from the driver privilege card, who would not otherwise be able to get a Virginia driver's license, it's so important to us. It means so much to me and John, especially to John, to help as many people as possible get this. Now, the last announcement, I just want to remind everyone about Citizenship Day. Citizenship Day is going to be on February 20th, 2021. I volunteered to be the co-chair of Citizenship Day National, so it's very exciting to be on a team and trying to coordinate this particular day to assist people who cannot afford an attorney to help them with their N400. And it looks like it's probably going to be virtual in all the sites. So we're working all of that out. We're working really hard to bring you a very successful Citizenship Day. And my goal is to have more people, twice as many people as last year that we had. And I think we'll be able to achieve that goal through Citizenship Day because it's going to be virtual. Virginia Beach we're going to have Citizenship Day in Virginia Beach. Gardner Mendoza, we are the ones that sponsored Citizenship Day year in, year out. This year, I want to just thank Jackie Murray from our office for stepping up. She's going to be the site coordinator for the Gardner Mendoza Virginia Beach Citizenship Day. So I'm super excited about that. I've been doing it for all these years and handing the reins over to Jackie because I'm helping co-chair the national effort for Citizenship Day. So hope to see you guys there. We will be posting more information about it. How, you don't know much about it right now, but it's in the works. I'm just super excited about it because I want as many people to file the N400 as possible who are eligible and can. So you will be citizens 1 year or less from the date of filing. All right, my cousin, how's it going, cuz? She is late. That's okay, better late than never. Better late than never. I appreciate your support, cuz, always.
And to circle back, because again, I don't want anybody to get in trouble. The executive order is number 72. All right, if you all want to, I encourage you to read it yourself. Not everyone may agree with me. I think that you can make the argument that it's 10 plus your family. All right.
John likes to make the argument,
but not everybody
does.
May agree with that, and I encourage you to read it on your own and see if you have the same reading if you're not comfortable stretching the rules, then just stick to 10.
This is the big difference between what John does and what I do. Huge difference. He's coming, people come to him, they already have the problem. Okay? I can actually cause a problem for someone. And so we're very, very cautious in not trying to cause a problem for someone. I will read over this Executive Order 72 and give you my immigration lawyer 2 cents about this.
And if you get charged with having like 15 people in your house, call me. I'll represent you. Because I think that the wording here, I don't think they intended it, but I think that gives us a little tiny opening.
There is always a gray area for defense attorneys.
Is that the trick up my sleeve you were talking about? One of them? Okay.
No, I'm just saying, just let people come to you with the problem.
Yeah.
We don't know how they're going to interpret it in the end. we don't really know.
All right.
But anyhow, it's been great fun. Next week, let's see, what's the date today?
The date?
The 15th.
Today's the 16th.
The 16th, okay. So, yes, we will be here on 12/23.
Yep, 12/23.
We'll absolutely be here on 12/23.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Right.
Maybe we'll be drinking some eggnog.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay, everyone.
Probably not.
Well, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening.
Yes.
Get some dinner, wrap some presents, do some shopping, whatever your family traditions are this time of year. Just enjoy them because it's a great time of year.
What are we having for dinner? We don't know.
I thought you said nachos.
Oh, nachos. Okay. All right, guys. Take care.
All right. 2
Good
thumbs
night.
up, everyone.
2
Have a
thumbs
great
up.
night,
We
right?
will see you next Wednesday. Thank
All
you
right,
so
take
much
care.
for your support. Bye-bye.
Love you, mean it.